Well, good morning to you. It is a Tuesday, November the 10th. Glad to have you with us on Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis, and for the next half hour, we've got your HCC news and information, things you'll need to know, and guests you'll need to meet. They're coming up shortly, but first this morning, I've got two co-hosts, Brittany Pacheco. She's very busy these days. She had an appointment this morning. So we've got two co-hosts that are joining me. Of course, Raquel Sims out there in Stafford. Thanks for being here, Raquel, and making a special appearance on this Tuesday.
Good morning, and I'm so happy to be filling in for Brittany, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and thanks for being here, Raquel. Stand by. Also, Frank Cooper's joining us for his Tuesday appearance. Frank, good to see you.
Good to be here, Todd. Thank you for having me. And ladies and gents, let's please follow the show Up to the Minute on YouTube now. It's been on YouTube for a while. Hit the notification bell for our latest news on campus and what's going on regarding our events. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, all major social media platforms. So just look up to the Minute and let's grow the show.
That's right, Frank. Stick around. We're going to get to you later on in the show. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk a little sports today, Frank. So we'll
can't wait.
Catch the world up in Frank's sports world. That's coming up. Stick around. We always love to catch up with our student success stories. We've got Alexander Zerkoff. You may recognize him. He's been in one of our student success story features, and he works as a biomedical equipment technician with GE Methodist Hospital. Good morning, Alexander.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you with us. And we're going to ask you to stand by because we're going to be with you shortly. But first, joining me is Kay Jukes. Now, you are the program director for dental assisting at Houston Community College's Coleman College for Health Science Services. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So I'm going to ask you, Kay, why don't you, before we get, you and I kind of talked about this before we went on the air, but yesterday I went to the dentist. The young lady there said she went through a short program to get quickly into the dental assisting industry. That turned out to be, she said, kind of a mistake for her because she didn't learn all of the essential things she needed to know. Even though the course was very short, she could get out to work very quickly. She just didn't have all the skills she needed. And that's something you guys try to make up over at Coleman because the short-term solutions aren't always the best fixes.
That's correct, Todd. Our program is a little bit different. We are a 12-month program. And the main difference and the reason why we have the different length is because we're accredited by the Commission on Dental Accreditation, which we are the only one in the greater Houston area.
And for the students in your classes that go through your program, they go through a 12-month program. When they get out of that program, what are the prospects of finding a job pretty quickly?
Oh, wow. We cannot keep up with the jobs. I probably have 1 to 2 doctors a week call me looking for students. And I usually tell the students when we interview, the only time I can't find you a job is if you say, I only want to work for an oral surgeon and I only want to work in Katy, then we may have some problems. But we cannot keep enough students out there for the doctors that are looking right now.
And you've got a reputation and a relationship with medical professionals where doctors are actually calling you asking for students who've been trained through their program. That says a lot for what HCC's Coleman College is doing with the dental assisting program.
Yes, we have a great reputation. We work with the Greater Houston Dental Society. We work with the University of Texas Dental School. We work with all the City of Houston clinics, and as well as many private practices and group practices.
Are the classes full now, being that we're having to teach a lot in the remote learning environment? Do the classes get full very fast? And what is the application process like?
Well, we only take 24 students, and this year we had more applications than ever before. So I can't say COVID had anything to do with our getting any applications because we had more than ever. We have a great class. For the application process, they have to not only apply to HCC, but they also have to apply to the health sciences, to the dental assisting program itself. They must have a high school diploma or a GED. They have to be TSI ready. And then, of course, we have other specifics that all the health career applicants must achieve prior to getting enrolled.
Now, you told us the program is typically a 12-month program. Are there opportunities to go further in this? And maybe you take the 12 months, start working, and then take some more classes. Is that a possibility? And do you find students doing that?
We have an associate's degree And our newest thing now that we have that is very popular is we have a bridge to dental hygiene. So if you graduate from our dental assisting program and you meet all the requirements for hygiene, 2 of our graduates get automatic admissions to the dental hygiene program. So that's great. We have a lot of students who've never had any experience in dentistry, want to get their feet wet. So we'll come go through the dental assisting program and then jump right into hygiene. We've also had students go become dentists after this. So lots of opportunities for everybody.
Do your students work a practicum or out in the field with doctors? And are those paid positions, or they work as interns? How does that work?
We do over 400-hour extern hours. In the spring semester, they go out to general dental offices. And then in the summer, they choose a specialty they would like to go see. So if they would like to go work with an orthodontist, who does braces, we'll send them to an orthodontic practice. If they like oral surgery, they do that. So that way they get their feet wet and see if that's something they would really like to do or not before they accept a position. And these externs are not paid, yes.
Okay, so more like practicum hours where they're going
Yes,
out
sir.
and getting the experience. Would the students, let's say someone's interested in getting into the dental program and they're thinking, it's a 12-month program. I imagine it's not year-round applications. You only start at one time during the year. Is there a possibility of enrolling at HCC, getting some of your basics out of the way, especially if you're going in the 2-year associate's degree, and then going on to Coleman? Is that a possibility?
Oh, that's always a possibility. And we also have a prerequisite course of the Introduction to Health Professions that is required prior to getting in. So there's always something they can do prior to getting in, because yes, we only start every August.
Okay, so you guys, for those who they want to say, well, I want to go to HCC in the spring, but I want to get in the dental assisting program, the best option would be to go get those basics out of the way, maybe starting in the spring, and then look at enrolling in the fall, from what you're telling me.
Yes, sir. That's the best way to go.
We've been asking all the faculty that appears here on the show the challenges you've been faced with the advent of COVID. I mean, we've all been working in a different environment since March. How does that look for the dental assisting program? Were your students able to keep up through the online learning? I know there's a lot of hands-on experience you need. How did that work, and how is it moving forward?
We actually didn't have much of a disruption in our education at all. We had a few private practices in the dental school who closed, so we had some issues with our students getting into their externship, but our students graduated on time, actually like a week later. Right now, of course, we're just dealing with the smaller labs. We already are required by our accrediting body to do smaller labs. So normally we do 12 students per lab, and now we're only doing 8. And then when we do our radiology labs, normally we would do 6 students, which we're still okay with. So we're still able to get on campus, do our labs, and doing all the lectures online right now.
So are you when you're having to do those smaller labs, are you just having to do an extra one to accommodate the students for smaller class size?
Correct. We just increased the number of sections that are offered.
I imagine, though, that's a better experience for the student, because with less students in the class, they get more one-on-one instruction or interaction with the instructor.
Definitely that, and also because most of our faculty members are there already, so they're getting actually more faculty in the lab to help them. Instead of just one faculty member, they may have 2 or 3 helping them at the time, as long as we're still staying under that 10 limit.
Where do you see this going as far as the online instruction as we enter in the next few months? I know you said it didn't really affect a lot of your students, which is great news for the ones who are going through in spring, but we're about to go back into another spring, still a lot of uncertainty. How do you see this moving forward as we go into the next year?
I really don't see it causing us any issues. Our only issue, like I said, was, the dental school had been closed, and that's a great extern site for us. The students get a lot of hands-on working with dental students. The lectures, it's great that we're actually on campus, so we can help the students on campus with any further issues they have, tutoring. We're not just having to do online tutoring. We make ourselves available constantly at the campus as well to help our students. So I really don't see it hurting us in any aspect.
Kay Jukes, Program Director for Dental Assisting Program at HCC Coleman College for Health Sciences. Thanks for being here this morning. Stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very much, Todd. I appreciate the time.
Absolutely. And if you're interested in dental assisting, we'll have the link to the program in the social media post for this show, so you can check it out, see about the application and all the requirements. All that will be in the social media post. All right, we're going to move on to one of our student success stories, Alexander Zerkoff. Alex, good to see you again. I know you were featured in one of our success stories. Tell us exactly what you do, because a lot of people hear about biomedical engineering. What is it? And you're a technician. Does that mean you keep up or maintain the equipment that's used?
Hi, Todd. Yes, thank you for having me again. Biomedical technician, yes. Biomedical field is a blend between the medicine field and technology. And it's actually a very unique field due to the fact, and I being a technician, not an engineer, I maintain the equipment. I don't produce it or manufacture it, which engineer would do, but it's also a very vital, important role that needs to be done. For example, due to COVID now, we all know I use thermometers to scan people, just that's the first phase of screening. Thermometer seems to be a simple device, but how do you know it's working correctly? You need somebody who's able to test it, verify that it's working correctly. Same goes for all the other medical equipment.
Alex, how has COVID affected your working environment? Were you working as an essential worker, and did you keep working throughout the shutdown for most of the country? How did that look for you?
Yes, that is correct. Being a biomedical technician, you are considered a essential employee. Same goes for all the nurses and all the other medical staff. In fact, we've noticed more of a higher responsibility or demand for biomedical technicians due to COVID. The healthcare industry has been kind of in the forefront nowadays in the media and everywhere. And same goes for biomedical technicians. We are part of the healthcare workers, except we don't do patient care. We do equipment care.
Is your job a lot of troubleshooting to see what something's wrong and how you can get it back operational?
Yes, the fun part, troubleshooting equipment, trying to figure out, all the things that we go into school to learn how to do, and then we're able to put that into work in the field, and it is very fun at times.
What brought you to HCC?
So HCC, for me, the best part about it was the fact that it was local, and it had evening classes. I managed to maintain a full-time job my entire 2-year course that I took to become a biomedical technician. So I think that's very attractive. Also, it's accredited by the ABET community.
And you graduated a couple of years ago. Why would you recommend someone go through the program now? Obviously, you're still working. You maintained a gainful employment throughout the shutdown, but why would you recommend folks enroll at HCC for this program?
I recommend HCC, and specifically a biomedical technician program, because it is a great entry point to get into the new career. And it's a great career. And the more I work in it, the more I would want to, tell more people about it and introduce them and say, hey, consider this one. It's fantastic. I've learned that there's endless opportunities. Just like Kay spoke earlier, you can become a technician and then become an engineer and then maybe later on manufacture equipment, but there's endless opportunities.
With what type of qualities or assets should somebody have if they want to be a biomedical technician? Obviously, it's not a job for everyone. You mentioned, we talked about troubleshooting, so you've got to like to problem solve, I would imagine. But what would you say you look for in somebody who wants to take on this career?
That's absolutely right. The number one characteristic would be troubleshooting. Although I would say almost anyone can do this job. It is, it's something that someone can learn. But if you love troubleshooting, this is perfect for you.
And I understand you also have a message you'd like to get folks out there, students who may be looking at enrolling in this program. What's the message you have for them?
Yeah, the message I have is, if you're lost your job due to COVID, or you just recognize that, the job you had is kind of a dead end job, won't really get you far, really consider HCC enrolling into their biomedical program. You can do it. It's fairly easy. I managed to, do the 2-year course and maintain a full-time job. So even if you do have a job, you can keep it and still manage to enroll and complete the college due to the fact that they have evening classes, online classes, and you can get yourself a degree, become a biomedical equipment technician, which is a booming industry, and get started on a brand new career that will lead you a lot further than you may even know yourself.
Alex, let me ask you this too, because things have changed in the past 2 years. We're now delivering an education mostly online. How do you think you would have fared in the world of virtual learning? Is that something that you think would have been good for you, or something you may not have been a big fan of? Do we lose you, Alex? Can you hear us? It looks like we may have lost Alex. And well, you there, Alex? Can you hear us?
I'm back. Sorry.
Okay, you're back. That's all right. You froze. I was asking about the world of virtual learning. Do you think you would have been a fan of that?
I think it would work well for me due to the fact that I was working a full-time job and primarily taking evening classes. I think it wouldn't hurt if it was all online as it is today. But also part of the HCC curriculum, you are given an internship, as Kay spoke to earlier. Same with the biomedical technicians. They do introduce you to the field during your education, and you are able to become employed straight out of your internship. You can graduate and get hired onto the job that you've been volunteering for already, which is fantastic about HCC as well. And I don't think that would have changed much since then. And I believe even due to COVID, people are still hiring. I know we are hiring. Everywhere I look, everyone's looking for more biomedical technicians.
Yeah. It sounds like a great field, a lot of job opportunity. We're so happy for you, Alex. It's always great to see one of our students doing well. Continued success to you, and stay safe out there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And we are going to move on to, of course, Frank and Raquel joining me both this morning. Glad to have both of you with us. Raquel, are you a sports fan?
Am a sports fan. I hope y'all will include me in the
Well, I just want to make sure, because Brittany sometimes says, you know, if she has something to say, she'll make sure we know about it. But usually, you know, she kind of sits back. Frank will testify to that. So we'll talk some sports later in the show. I want to get to some of our HCC news and announcements. And right off the back, we need to talk about something that's going on right now. Spring registration is underway. And you can go to one website, Frank, for all your spring registration needs. And the good thing is you got a chance right now to register early, because the classes are going to be very small, the ones that are happening on campus.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to scroll through my script.
Let's see here. I'll go over it with you, because I've kind of memorized all this by now. We've gone over it so much for the fall, but there's 4 learning options. Online anytime, which more or less is courses you can take online anytime at your convenience. You can enroll into online on a schedule. And that's kind of like where we are now, where you can interact with your classmates and your professor. There's the flex campus option and the lab-based courses, Frank, and those are on campus.
Absolutely. So for those who are uncomfortable like going to campus and you know, being in a classroom atmosphere, you know, virtual learning is a great avenue to get your education and to get to where you want to go. So for those who are nervous, like Todd said, we have multiple options. Go to the website. All the information will be on this post after the show is over with. You know, let's get in as this education. Don't let COVID slow you down from getting to your dreams.
And the main thing is, now's the time to register. hccs.edu/now is the website to go to. That post will be in the show. Salute to minorities in construction, Raquel. This is happening through our friends in the Minority Business Development Administration.
Yes, I'm extremely excited to have the salute going on. So they are having their 6th annual Salute to Minorities in Construction virtually today. It is happening at 11:30 a.m. The community partner of the year is Marsha Murray of the City of Houston, and client of the year, Victor, I don't want to mispronounce his name, but I want to say Andrade. I pray that that's the right pronunciation, but you can visit tinyurl.com/virtual-salute. So please join the virtual salute to minorities in construction to show them appreciation.
So Frank, the HCC virtual coffee breaks with Janet May, they're going on, and she usually has a couple a week. I know there's one happening today as well.
Absolutely. So at 11 o'clock today, she will have guest Joseph Gadman, who's the Executive Director of Procurement Operations. And then this coming up Thursday on the 12th, she'll have David Vogel, who's the Dean of Automotive of the COE. So grab a cup of coffee with coworkers with Janet May, and talk about all these different programs and topics. So for more information about that, check your emails to register. Just search Coffee Breaks.
That's right. Online Veterans Day 2020 live stream is happening tomorrow. We may have to delay or move up the start of this show because I don't want to compete with them. But they're happening tomorrow at 10 a.m., Wednesday, November 11th. It's a very important celebration. I had a chance to MC this year's, and we've got some special guests. Houston Community College Veteran and Military Affiliated Student Success Department, VMAS, is honoring our veterans for their service to our country. More information, you can visit hccs.edu/veterans. I am thinking, Frank, we're going to have to move our show to a different time tomorrow. So for those of you watching in social media, we'll probably reschedule up to the minute, or either delay it, which may be the best bet, delay it to 11 a.m. So that way we can get the veterans celebration in, because we certainly want to give time to respect and honor our veterans. They're very deserving of this, and we want to make sure we give them the proper honor. So I think we'll go ahead and do that. We'll move up to the minute tomorrow to 11 a.m. So that'll be a programming note we'll send out in social media. Filmmaking series J.D. Shields is happening, Frank, and that looks like that's going to be tomorrow as well.
Absolutely. So award-winning film, TV, and interactive director and writer will share her experiences as a writer for interactive and gaming media. So that is tomorrow from noon to 2 p.m. Registration is required. So for more information on that, email michael.coleman, that's COHN, at hccs.edu.
And the Hispanic Scholarship Council virtual fundraiser, that's happening Friday, Raquel. And I think we're going to need to move our show on that day as well.
Yes, I would definitely agree, because it's extremely important to help our students stay strong and donate to the Hispanic Scholarship Fundraiser and watch it virtually this Friday. It's happening on Friday, of course, at 10 a.m. and the pre-show begins at 9:30. So you do not want to miss anything. And for scholarship opportunities to donate, please visit hcc.edu/HCSC 2020.
We'll place that in the social media post. I know it's tongue tying. So keep that in mind, folks. Tomorrow's show is going to be at 11 a.m. Friday's show will be at 11 a.m. as well for Up to the Minute. So of course you can always watch us, as Frank mentioned at the top of the show. We're on YouTube, Frank, and people can subscribe to our YouTube channel. After the live show ends, we post it on YouTube and share it in social media. So you don't have to watch it live. We'd love for you to do so, but you can always catch it later in the day.
Absolutely. We're on Monday through Friday, so news is always ever changing. So stay abreast. Hit the notification bell to get all the latest campus news regarding HCC.
So lighting the fire for learning, that is happening, Frank, and it looks like that's going to be 10 to 11:30 a.m. on Friday, November the 13th as well. A lot of stuff happening Friday.
Absolutely. So yes. So McNair is the executive director for the Truth, Racial Healing, Transformation Campus Centers at the Association of American Colleges and Universities in Washington, D.C. She's also the VP of the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Student Success. So this program will be going on from 10 to 11:30 this Friday. Registration is required. So check your emails regarding that. That will be dropping soon.
Just because we're doing things virtually these days doesn't mean we're not showcasing our students' works, Raquel, because we have a virtual student exhibition happening on Instagram.
Yes, and it is happening on Instagram, and it's covering all of these 6 HCC campuses, art galleries. But I just think it's amazing to see how everything is really coming to life. When it comes to art and just everything just flowing, you can really tell a story through artwork. And so it's amazing that HCC is integrating everything together. So registration is not required, and it's happening from November 16th to January 16th, 2021. It just sounds weird saying 2021, honestly.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But you can follow them at HCC_visual_arts, and the link will be provided as well. And for more information, please contact the division chair, Catherine.Fields, at the link will be provided. I was going to spell it out, but Catherine.fields@hccs.edu.
That's right. And Frank, we've got Academic Success Center tutors available for our students. So if you need help studying, you can get that assistance free.
Absolutely. So you have any questions about any of your courses coming up, you having trouble in the classroom, especially virtually, you can hit up our post, and Microsoft Teams will have tutors on deck to help you out with your classes or whatever you may need. So for more information about that, go to the link in our post after the show.
That's right. So I want to talk a little bit of sports. Of course, Frank and I had some locks last weekend. You had a lock on, was it the Steelers?
I did, yes. And they barely surpassed the Cowboys. I think they only won by a touchdown. I think they They look past because they have a big game coming up this Sunday. And I think they ain't taking it serious. And the Cowboys are still, they're still playing for pride. So they Garrett Gilbert, who was, not only a UT grad, well, a UT quarterback, he transferred to SMU, and he played in the Arena League, and he gave Ben Roethlisberger and those guys a fight to the finish, but the Steelers pulled it out narrowly.
Yeah. I was thinking that must have been one of those games with Steelers ride into Dallas thinking these guys are losers. They aren't playing well this year. They're down to their third string quarterback who's on the practice squad. So we can just kind of coast through this game. Maybe Ben Roethlisberger will only play one half, pull him out after the first half. Didn't happen that way. It went all the way to the end and they barely won the game. So just because they're the Cowboys 2020 doesn't mean they're not going to be competitive. And the Steelers learned that. On the other hand, the Texans, I picked them as a lock because, hey, they were playing the Jaguars. They got to beat them twice this year. It's the only team they're beating this year. So I figured they were a lock, and they managed to pull it off despite themselves.
Yeah, like they tried their best to give the game away to a rookie quarterback at that, but they found a way to pull it out last minute, and they what is that? Is that 2 wins, 3 wins from them now?
Two wins, both against the Jaguars.
Too much.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll play them again this year, they're hoping, but I don't think either team are going to make it to the playoffs. So that ain't happening. It's funny because years ago when I used to play fantasy football, I don't play it anymore, but used to enjoy having running backs that would play against certain defenses because they would just be so porous and your running back could get all the points in the game. Well, now that team you want to play, your Houston Texans, their run defense, I don't know. We're going to suit Frank up next week, give him the ball, and he's going to just going to take it from end zone to end zone, man.
I know for a fact I can get at least 30 yards.
Frank get 30 yards. I don't know, Raquel, can you put up some yardage against the Texans defense? If your name's not JJ Watts, you can just run around him.
I definitely can put up some yards, you know what I'm saying? So
who hasn't? Everybody can put up yards against the Texans this year. They're the dream defense for opponents in fantasy football.
Are you a Texans fan, Markel?
I don't want to, put my foot in my own mouth, but I'm just going to be quiet.
Well, one of the best things
things are going now.
They always say some of the best things are the things that never happen. I came so close to buying a PSL when the Texans were launched. They were selling these personal seat licenses. Not only did you have to pay for that, but you still had to pay for the season's tickets. How would have that worked out over the last 20 years?
You saved a lot of money by not doing that. So
saved a lot of money and a lot of heartache. Probably my life would have been 20 years shorter with all the heartache you get watching the Texans you have to watch them on TV. Can you imagine watching them in person? Wow.
Man, that would be crazy.
How frustrating is that?
Another upset happened over the weekend. Clemson lost to Notre Dame, the number 1 team.
That just threw everything in turmoil. So who knows? Anything can happen this year. Game locks this year, Frank, or this weekend, Frank?
Game locks this weekend. I haven't seen the schedule just yet.
Okay.
Let's
think about it Friday. We got you back on Friday. I'm going to go with an early lock. I'm going to go with the Browns. And their running back who are playing your Houston Texans. So there you go. That's what I'm going to go with. There you go. All right. So we're wrapping up the show for today. Tomorrow, we've got a great show for you. It's Veterans Day. We'll be on at 11, so we'll need to move our guests back a bit. But who do we have coming up, Raquel?
We have Don't make me lie, but we have Kenneth Hernandez. That's going to be celebrating the Veterans Day, and which is a chair of business, Center of Excellence, a veteran himself who also heads up the monthly Veterans Luncheon for the HCC Northwest. And rather than our hosts are virtually, I feel like I'm just stumbling. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. It's going to be here tomorrow. Ken Hernandez will join us, so he'll be here. And then we'll also have virtual family fun Thursday, Frank.
Perfect.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we will shift things around and welcome Commemorative Air Force on Wednesday. Is that Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. It's Tuesday today, so we're all good.
And once again, I know Tyler already mentioned it, but thank you to all the veterans who fought for this country, who fought for our freedoms. Thank you again for sacrificing, because I'm not that brave. So thank y'all so much for doing what you guys do.
It's remarkable. And it's because of them that we're allowed to live free and do shows like this. That's because of our veterans. Absolutely. We appreciate the work you do, veterans. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Folks, remember, we're going to be live tomorrow at 11 a.m. and we'll see you right here again on Up to the Minute.